Yo everybody, welcome back to Super Adventure Island 2! Let's find out what we gotta do today. Higgins! You'll have a tough time entering Puka Puka Island without using the power fan. Say for now and I'll do you right, old bean. Nope, I'm good. I've already entered there, so I went and gambled. That doesn't know about all that gambling I did, and was bad at. Let's go find what Tina's gonna say for us. We have 1957 coins. Please, let me sleep. I'm very tired, as you can tell, it's why I'm nodding so much. I'm nodding off, standing up. I'm sleeping with my nose just jammed right on top of the pillow. Drooling everywhere. It's really terrible. Tina, you gonna show up anytime soon? I'm pressing every button to hopefully summon you. There you are. I'm sorry, it takes a while to walk here from this basement I'm in. This island basement. I'm trapped here on Puka Puka Island. Look for a lever which drains all the water of the island? Okay, that sounds dangerous. Keep your feet dry. Please hurry, my naturally curly hair simply hates this hair. As someone with naturally curly hair, I get it. My hair curls like crazy whenever I'm in that kind of atmosphere, so I understand. Back to the overworld. We are going over to that island in the bottom right. Oh, right, I forgot. It actually shows you when you've actually bridged the bridge between the islands. I forgot it does that on the map. Nice. However, last episode I goofed. And I showed this at the very end, just a reiteration. We earned the wing spell, which is invaluable. It lets you warp to other islands. But I didn't go far enough into the fourth island to get to use it as a warp point, so can't take advantage of it. The main warp is the first square that is not the square that you have to use a spell on, if that makes sense. So for the first island, it's straight up the entrance. But for the fire island and the ice island, it's the room after you have to use the item, which is a little jarring, and that was the problem. We only went to the room with the item in the fourth island, so unfortunately we have to go there. If you're wondering what the other flashing square is, that is actually the sauna rooms of each island. Those are gonna be invaluable when we get there. And I basically just wasted all my magic because I pressed the wrong button trying to cancel it out. I'm not even sure if you can cancel that spell. So, all right, well, we're going to the fourth island without any magic at all. That hopefully won't be an issue. Since saunas don't heal it, I didn't figure it was worth trying. Almost made it. All right, I still fucking love that seagull sprite, I'm sorry. Every time I see it. Which is good news, because we're gonna see it a lot on this island. All right, so the pedestal room does not count. Neither does the tube room. Going up brings us back to the casino, but going here, this screen is what I needed. Now warp will work correctly. Welcome to the island whose name I already forgot. This is Puka Puka, right? I legitimately forgot. Hang on. Okay, it's Puka Puka, okay. My memory's not completely crap, just mostly crap. We're still good. So we're decked out with our ice gear because we have not really gotten anything new. The only new thing we had was the shovel, which, good news, we needed it anyways. And God, you're gonna hate the shovel by the end of this stage because you needed to use it a lot. And every time you have to rotate through your weapons to at least get to the one you want. If you don't care, you can just switch to your closest projectile weapon, which is, or your closest weapon in general, which is either fists, or I think right now for us, it is the dagger. Or no, we got fireballs, so it would be fireballs. As you probably guessed by looking at the map, it's a mess. It is a warp maze. Now the one good thing about this is, when you enter a warp, it will spit you out, either horizontally or vertically connected to the next part of the island. So this portal will go just to the left there, we can go to that warp there. This one will go to the left, that one will go up, and so on and so on. So if you want to just take the most direct path, it's pretty straightforward, honestly. Until you get to the point where you need to figure out what you need to do to actually move along. Like Tina said, we need to drain the water since we can't actually swim, or we can't dive, we can sink. We can't sink, despite the fact we're wearing armor. And Higgins is definitely not a light boy. But nope, all we can do instead is look around and use this shovel a lot. God, are we gonna be using this shovel a lot. Case in point, keep going. The shovel can't be used in midair. You have to be on flat ground, so if we dug those bottom spaces, we would not actually have been able to do anything with them. You can still move around with it, you can go indoors, but I can't read this with it. So I actually have to turn off the shovel just to look at this. That's why it's good to just switch back to either fists or the fireball. You're a real character to reach this point. You're pretty good. To beat the boss, hit his feet while his head is up. All right, that seems pretty straightforward. Maybe a bit unexpected when you find out what the boss actually is, but it still works. Let's use the fireball, just for a bit of variety's sake. 3 hits from that. It's okay, at least it gets it kind of in a stun lock. Multiple hits, multiple weak hits, but still multiple hits. Just to show this, can't dig the top one. Can't dig up, stupid, you can only dig down and forward. The shovel is basically very important from here on out, which is a bit of a bummer since, you know, taking it, using it turns off your armor completely. But you eventually get used to it. What you might not get used to though is how much of a mess this map is in general. You already saw like how it was with the warps there on the main hub. Just look at how it looks in the actual stage listing though, in the actual map. It's not helpful in the slightest. It just looks really messy. You can't, thankfully, if you overlay this map over the actual warp map, it does more or less match up, thankfully, but it's still a little annoying to read in the grand scheme of things. All right, let's see what's at this dead end. Oh, it's a dead end. Who could have seen that coming? We can't make any progress here, not until we figure out what to do about that water. So, run all the way back. If you know the direct way to go, it's not nearly that bad, but there's also not that many branches you can really take. You do kind of just end up needing to explore everything to begin with. And we finally got all our magic back, so we can use Feather again, or sorry, Wing again. Feather is the level 1 spell. And now more seagulls with bombs. Ooh, and lobsters! Delicious lobsters. Is that a lobster though? Like it's pretty much built like one, I'm gonna assume. Adventure Island's big on its food motifs, so since Higgins is eating all the time. That didn't really help. Let's try the bottom path first. And dig out that shovel yet again. Oh, hey, sweet. Can't open treasure chests with the shovel out. Hang on. What do we got? Money. That is still not even close to getting the shield. The shield is 10,000 coins basically. I think it's 9,950. So we better hope we find a lot of money later on. Spoiler alert, we really kind of won't. Fight with the shovel, get some health back, and then have to put it away anyways. I really wish there was just a button you could press to switch back and forth between the two. It would make things so much easier. A man with wings may instantly transport back to the entrance or to the hot springs. There's your hint telling you, get the warp spell. Now, we went out of our way to get this right now, so we already knew about that. But at this point, if you're just making game progress, you won't have enough for it. You'll probably be at 2 or 3 magic containers. So by the end of this stage, you should have enough for Wing, but you really don't need it until you've done the 5th island. After the 5th island, it is invaluable. And we'll see why, not in this episode, but definitely in the next one. Well, to be fair, if we're lucky, we won't need to use this either. But we'll find out. Next warp. Ooh, treasure, and we can get it too. We've really only got one move keeping us from getting all items at this point. And there's your magic bottle, which means we have a level 5 spell. Blizzard summons a blizzard attack. All right, we have an offensive spell. And we have a star switch. Let's see, let's use it on you guys. Let's wait for that guy to open up. Oh God, my eyes. All right, we'll never be using that spell again. All right, so I can't even equip that anymore. And here's the thing too. That spell doesn't work on bosses. The weird thing about this game is both offensive spells don't actually work on bosses, which seems to be the time you would want to use them. So it's like a weird oversight. I don't get why exactly. I guess just they thought it would make the bosses too easy, but really, and we'll find out when we get to this boss in this stage. Magic has a weird requirement that you might not be aware of instantly. I might have mentioned in a previous episode, I forget. But it's gonna actually restrict the use of it in certain situations anyway. So it's weird that they would even put even more restrictions on it. All right. Earlier we had a treasure chest we couldn't access because we needed upstab. And that's really the last exploring item we need. And once we get upstab, we can get any treasure chest in the game. I guess we also have to find all the colored switches. Speaking of switches, once we have all the switches and upstab, we can get any item in the game. Nothing's really locked away to us at this point. And we've got the Aqua Armor. Finally, some new armor. That's why I went into the swords menu. Aqua Armor works well in the water. There we go, now we're Luigi. We've got the power of Luigi on our side, finally. We still have this ice sword though, and might be a bit before we even get a sword. I don't think did we get a sword in this island? Oh, so just to show you this too, that door we took actually just warps you back to the beginning of this room. So if you want a shortcut for backtracking, which will come in handy later, there you go. Oh no, we do get a sword in this island, okay. It's a shield we don't get in this island. So we've stopped getting full sets from here on out. All right, 4 to choose from this time. This one needs, same issue as before, we need to drain the water. So we got a 3 to go here. I believe the correct one is this one here, so let's take it. Oh God, the seagulls. We're ready for war. Who keeps giving them bombs? What a bad idea. Like how, okay, I get you're like a magician or something like, I'm going to assume that bird is tied to like a magician or something, because usually a magician's what kidnaps Tina in Adventure Island, like a magician or aliens. Oh hey, actually, before I get sidetracked too much, I think the armor actually also makes you move faster in the water? Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It actually lets you swim faster too. Why do I keep going to weapon? So there you go. It does work well in the water because you can actually swim at a decent pace. So at least we've got that going for us. It's just a shame that this is the room that drains all the water. So we did all that. Oh no, hang on. Hang on, we gotta do some digging first. Nope, can't reach that jump yet. We did all that work to finally get the armor to swim in the water, and now we're just draining the water. The timing on that armor is absolutely awful. I do not get why they did it like that. But hey, now we can actually make some progress here proper now. Whee! All right, now we can go up and we can actually check that door up there too. Now you know how the water's drained here because these guys are obviously free and they can't attack because they're just stuck on their backs. If you didn't get that hint from Tina, like this is where you would have figured it out. There's nothing otherwise saying drain the water. That's the first time you'll see that the effect has actually worked. And again, like I said, it's really weird timing-wise because you just got the armor that lets you swim better in water, and then you drained all the water in the island. It's just kind of mind-boggling. It really should have been like the first or second chest you find. All right, well now that we've opened up this zone, let's see what we got over here. Come on. Oh hey, it's the water switch. Let's pop that off. Sure, we need to turn that off for something. And our cave is a shortcut we can't use yet. All right, that must be going to the 5th island. Here's the thing, both the shortcuts on this island are going to stages we can't get to yet, so it's kind of useless at the moment. That switch is the only thing we really needed to know about. All right, let's try this one. No water to worry about here. Ooh, and a treasure chest. Ooh, what's it gonna be? What do we need to get it? What do we need? Just need to walk down there, that's it. It's a freebie. As long as the water's drained, it's a freebie. And we get another magic bottle. So there we go. We probably would have had warp at this point, or wing. But instead we have power boost, brief invincibility. Let's see how brief. That's not bad, actually. That was like, what, 6 seconds? So 1 second a magic piece, a magic point? It's not terrible. As you saw, I could run through enemies and not get hurt, so that's really helpful in the grand scheme of things. But you've gotta, oh, this is why we needed the water switch off. But you've gotta, like, actually take advantage of that, though. Like, can you put out enough damage to get the full effect of that? That's the real thing. Dig, dig. Dig, dig, dig. So much digging. Really wish these things didn't just autofill back in. All that to get a life bottle? Really? All right, well there we go. 4 full hearts. Not the most helpful, although at least these things didn't refill. Enemies came back though. God, if the blocks also came back in the same room instead of just when you leave, that would suck. But there's enough to dig in this room anyways that it takes forever. Thankfully, you can skip most of them. I'm actually just skipping the enemies at this point. All that to get to what looks to be the center and the boss room. But we're not quite done here yet, so I'm actually gonna go back, unfortunately. That means we have to dig through everything all over again. Uh-oh. I just want your gooey insides. No, he didn't have gooey insides. He had nothing inside of him. It was just an empty husk. That makes sense. That's probably why he's trying to murder Higgins. He's very gooey on the inside, obviously. He's got 4 hearts. Ah, he's gotta be full of goo. Don't read too much into that. All right. We're gonna go to the last room. Oops. We're gonna get beeped at by the game, which is good because I accidentally almost used Feather. That's why I usually keep it on Recover instead. Because the last thing you want to do is accidentally use a spell and get sent back to the beginning of a stage when you're near the end of it. Especially if you haven't found the sauna like we haven't, which means we don't have a shortcut. That's actually why I'm running back. So we do not have the sauna unlocked yet. Plus, there's still at least one more thing we can grab here. The last path leads to a big old room with a lot of spikes. And over here, a little alcove with a treasure chest, which contains the Thunder Sword, which means I was wrong earlier. Now remember how I pointed out in a previous episode that for some reason, light is usually abbreviated for lightning in this case? That doesn't apply to the sword for some reason. So the light sword that we find in the casino is actually as in a source of light or light power. Thunder is not, because it's not lightning, it's Thunder Sword. Look at that. That's how they got around it. Huh. Sneaky, sneaky. Didn't pick up on that at the time, because I thought this was the lightning sword. Nope, it's the other part. It's the thunder. But now we've got at least a new weapon. We've got our banana sword. We've got our Luigi's armor, and we've got the blue shield. I guess really the only character that in Mario lore that kind of represents that is either Blue Toad or Rosalina, so it seems very fitting around here, all things considered. All that just to pop in here and get the sauna. Back to full health, no magic recharge, but now we have the warp points, which is good. Oops. Oh, actually that worked perfect, nice. Which is good because up here is a return point, because when we go up here, you've probably also realized we haven't found the temple yet. It's right here. And just like all the other ones, can't do anything with it yet. This room kinda sucks though. This is a lot of spikes, and there's a treasure chest just off screen we can't quite get. But we can't do anything until this works, and I'm sure whatever magic we need will be what makes that easier. So, let's just zip back over to the boss. Now, we have a couple things to work with. We know that we have to hit the boss's legs to damage the head. So what could that mean we're fighting? If you thought giant squid, good on you. You got where this game's going. Welcome to boss number 4. Now it's a good thing we've got the Aqua Armor because this is pretty much the only use of it in the game otherwise. And here's how this boss is gonna work. We have to keep hitting the foot, keep hitting the face. It's a little silly in the grand scheme of things. But if we take too long, the boss squirts down a little bit of ink. Now, you would think this would mean that the boss would be harder to spot, but weirdly enough, no? It actually doesn't seem to have any effect unless you wait a disgustingly long time in the boss fight. Like, I'm actually going to, for my own curiosity, because I didn't want to test this, and I couldn't find any footage online of someone doing this, I'm just gonna kind of take my time on this boss fight. Otherwise, this is what you should be doing. You turn around, do a couple quick stabs, spin around back and forth like this. But the ink will it'll keep dyeing the water, but it doesn't really affect the transparency of the sprite. You just kind of wait more and more. Oh, also, since we were talking about it earlier, magic. The one downside to magic is that you can't use it if you're not touching solid ground, because you can't use it in midair, which means you also can't use it while you're swimming, which means magic is completely useless in this fight. You can't even heal with it. Oh, it doesn't actually say that you can't use Blizzard. Maybe you can use it on bosses. I thought you couldn't. See, the weird thing is, now that the water is completely black, it's actually easier to see the boss. So it doesn't really seem like it has much of an effect. I'm gonna let it keep cycling through though, because I'm legit curious about this, but if I'm not careful, I'm actually gonna kill the boss. I'm curious to see if the boss actually becomes invisible if we just wait long enough. Because yeah, there you go, the transparency level changed again. It might actually make it invisible, which again is not going to be a threat because it barely attacks you in this phase. It, for some reason, keeps going usually to the middle, or to the left and right. If you stay just left or right of the middle, you probably won't get hit. I wonder if the water starts damaging you if you take too long. I think It's getting darker, but it's very slow. I think the game at this point is like, why haven't you killed this boss yet? Why are you taking your sweet time? Do you want to actually, like, do something, please? It really doesn't seem to be doing anything, because, like, he's obviously not a threat. We haven't been hit yet. Because he has a pretty easy pattern as long as you're not going too crazy trying to kill. It's darker again. I guess maybe he does actually turn invisible. I'm sorry, this is for my own curiosity's sake at this point. Because I'm legit curious about this, because again, as you've seen, the boss is otherwise not a threat, and it's so weird that the water gets this dark without anything happening. I looked up long plays, I looked up boss fight videos, I couldn't find anything showing this boss turning invisible. And the water didn't even get any darker that time. What's the point of this? Is there really no point to that attack? Because I don't even think the ink ball hurts you. I think straight up it just gets darker and then that's it, but doesn't go all the way. It's really pointless. It almost smacks of they wanted to do something cool and then figured out they either couldn't do it or just didn't. Yeah, that's 2 sprays now and it didn't get any darker, so let's just kill the boss. I've barely had to move during this. This is so funny that it's just, he's so unaggressive. Meanwhile, the next boss is probably one of the most aggressive in the game next to the final boss. We can do this without getting hit, I'll be happy. And done without getting hit, nice. And we stalled for a long time on that fight and still didn't get hit. Moonstone, the final stone. Hey Tina, did you see me just swim for a while? I did great. You know how hard it is to swim in armor? I seem to remember I was traveling with a brave but somewhat chubby fellow. He really needed to go on a diet. He was very obsessed with eating. He ate a lot of fruit and vegetables though. He was healthy in that aspect. I used to be a great traveler myself. Sometimes I get glimpses of when I sailed the seas with love in my heart, and that's all I can remember. I definitely wasn't chubby though, no, not at all, no. You know, we may have met at some other time, in some distant land. I know I've heard your voice before, and your face, it's so warm and kind. I think I could have loved you. Aw, that's sweet. Also, you'd think at this point, 4 times now meeting like that, amnesia or not, they would be like, something's gotta be up here, huh? Well, we're done with the island, but I'm gonna run back for a second because there is that one path we didn't check out, but I have a sneaking suspicion you guys might already know what it is, because I sure do. Actually, it's gonna be a little redundant to do this, but whatever, we're doing it anyways. Let's go check that one path we couldn't touch. I don't even know why I'm even bothering to still carry this. I don't even think I need the shovel in this screen. Nope. Whatever, we're here. We've done it. We've gone this far with the shovel. Let's keep going. What do we got up here? Another tablet, which means I actually got to turn it off anyways. Let's put back on the Thunder Sword. The 6 islands are all connected by hidden paths. Find them by switching the levers. So there you go. That's your hint if you haven't found any of them at this point, but I'd be stunned if you hadn't found any of them at this point, considering the stages aren't that big. And of course, the other connector to the 6th island, which we can't access yet. So with all that done, we have covered the whole island. Hang on, no, I can't use maps here. Oh, right, because this is in between the 2 islands. We've covered everything on this map, and this map, as you can see, is a hot mess. You can't really tell by reading it what is connected to what or what we missed. So for reference's sake, we missed 2 treasure chests that we can access so far anyways. We need one for upstab, the other we need the star switch, which we haven't found yet. So I'm just gonna do the logical thing and just warp us the hell out of here. I'm not in the mood to run all the way back through that. And because I don't want to go through the last little tunnel bit, I think it's just easier if we also just warp to the castle, too. Let's go drop off the moonstone. The final stone. Now we no longer need to worry about these gates anymore. Also, all the stones in our inventory are now useless. We just kind of got them now. And we can finally enter into the final zone and get into a random encounter, which I thought we were gonna skip. Oh well. Skeletons, pterodactyls. Another boring day on the ocean. All that to get our final move of the game, the upstab, and our blast buff old man visits. For a fee of only 500 coins, I'll teach you my awesome jab-up blockbuster blow. Just call it upstab. Or is that like Zelda copyright? You now have 2,697 coins. Hold your sword tight, jump high, and slash up with all your might. That's it. That's all we had to do. Now, we can break bricks above us, which means we can backtrack and get every item in all the other stages, unless they need the star block. But here's the thing, I don't quite recommend doing that now, because keep in mind, there are 4 altars we haven't figured out what to do yet. So maybe the last island has something to do with that, he said knowingly. So unless you're really desperate to get the extra magic containers, or you just want to get like an extra heart container or something, I'd wait, because you're gonna get plenty of time to go back and grab everything. So, and with that, as we watch Higgins just, jump for joy and raise his sword in the air with a 1-arm swing. I really feel like, I like how he does 2 arms for the down stab, but one is enough to break the brick. Also, you can't do it on the ground, so it's still a little useless. I guess it's supposed to use the upward momentum of your jump. With that, we've done everything we can right now. So, next time on Adventure Island 2, we'll find out, because I have to go fight these pterodactyls first. Next time on Super Adventure Island 2, we go to Sala Island. You know what? Hang on. I learned my lesson from last time. Here's a preview of next time.